When Sun Tzu, the legendary Chinese military strategist, was jokingly asked by a king if he could train 180 beautiful palace concubines into an elite army, something extraordinary happened. When the women laughed at his orders, the general cut off the heads of the king's two favorite wives to prove a terrifying point about power. This is the story of Sun Tzu's concubine training incident, and it remains one of the most ruthless demonstrations of psychological warfare tactics ever recorded, a masterclass in reverse psychology where refusing a king's command became the ultimate negotiation tactic. Around 512 BC, during China's spring and autumn period, a man named Sun Tzu arrived at the court of King Helu of Wu. China wasn't yet a unified empire, but a fractured land of over 100 warring states clawing at each other for survival. Kings were closer to feudal barons than emperors. Alliances shifted like sand, and in this crucible of extreme violence, something unexpected happened. A golden age of philosophy emerged. Thinkers arose who tried to make sense of the chaos. Confucius sought order through morality, Laozi sought it through harmony, and Sun Tzu sought it through war. Sun Tzu, better known by his honorific Sun Tzu, meaning Master Sun, was a native of the state of Qi in what is now Shandong province. He'd written a treatise on military strategy, just 13 short chapters totaling roughly 6,000 words. That text was The Art of War by Sun Tzu, and it had caught the attention of Wu Zixu, King Helu's most trusted advisor. Wu Zixu was in light wise and skilled in discrimination, and he recognized that Sun Tzu could penetrate and destroy any enemy. So he arranged an audience with the king. King Helu told Sun Tzu he'd carefully read all 13 chapters. He was impressed, but he wanted proof. Could Sun Tzu's theories actually work in practice? Could they be applied to anyone? And then, almost as a joke, almost as a dare, the king asked a question that would change everything. Could the test be applied to women? Sun Tzu said yes. 180 concubines were brought from the palace. Sun Tzu divided them into 2 companies, then made a very specific decision. He appointed the king's 2 most favored concubines as the commanding officers, one at the head of each company. Every woman was given a spear. Sun Tzu stood before them and laid out the rules with absolute clarity. When I say face right, you turn to face your right hand. When I say face left, you turn to face your left hand. When I say about turn, you pivot to face the rear. He asked if the instructions were clear. They said they were. The drums sounded. Sun Tzu gave the first command. The women burst into laughter. Sun Tzu didn't raise his voice. He didn't threaten. He simply said, calmly, that if words of command aren't clear and distinct, if orders aren't thoroughly understood, the general is to blame. He explained the instructions again, slowly and precisely. He asked again if they understood. They confirmed they did. The drums sounded a second time. He gave the command again. Again, they dissolved into giggles. And this is the moment the story pivots from a light-hearted demonstration into something far darker. Sun Tzu spoke again, but his words were different now. If instructions are clear but soldiers don't follow orders, he said, then it's the fault of their officers. He called for the executioner and condemned the 2 company commanders to death, the king's 2 favorite concubines. King Helu was watching from a raised pavilion. He panicked and sent a messenger racing down with a desperate plea. If we lose these 2 concubines, our meat and drink will lose their savor. It's our wish that they shall not be beheaded. Sun Tzu's response was ice cold. Having once received His Majesty's commission to be the general of his forces, there are certain commands of His Majesty which, acting in that capacity, I cannot accept. The 2 women were executed. New company commanders were appointed. The drums sounded again, and this time, every single woman performed every evolution with perfect accuracy and precision, turning right, turning left, marching forward, wheeling back, kneeling, standing. Not one of them ventured to utter a sound. Sun Tzu sent word to the king. Your soldiers, sire, are now properly drilled and disciplined. They're ready for your inspection. You may use them for whatever purpose you desire. They would go through fire and water without flinching. The king, still mourning, replied that he had no wish to come down and inspect. Sun Tzu's response cut to the bone. The king is only fond of words and cannot translate them into deeds. And here's what makes this story so psychologically fascinating. The king did nothing. He didn't stop the executions, even though this happened in his own palace. He didn't have Sun Tzu arrested, expelled, or killed. Instead, he appointed him general of his armies. Why? Because Sun Tzu had just demonstrated, in the most visceral way possible, exactly what the art of war teaches. This wasn't just a military drill, but a job interview, and Sun Tzu's answer was to show that he wouldn't compromise his principles for anyone, not even a king. This was reverse psychology at its most brutal. By demonstrating he would refuse even a king's direct order, Sun Tzu had negotiated himself into a position of absolute authority. That's the kind of general you want leading your army into battle, one who cannot be bought, swayed, or intimidated. And the results spoke for themselves. In 506 BC, just a few years later, King Helu unleashed his newly disciplined army against the mighty state of Chu. At the Battle of Boju, a force of just 30,000 Wu soldiers won 5 consecutive victories, captured and destroyed the Chu capital at Ying, and shocked the entire Central Plains. Chu, one of the most powerful states of the spring and autumn period, never fully recovered. Wu reached the zenith of its power. Historian Fan Wenlin considers it the first large-scale war of the Eastern Zhou dynasty. Now, there's an important caveat. Many scholars doubt this story ever happened. The earliest account comes from Sima Qian's Records of the Grand Historian, written roughly 400 years after the supposed events. The name Sun Wu doesn't appear in any earlier text. Some scholars even question whether Sun Tzu and his descendant, Sun Bin, another renowned military strategist from the Warring States period, might have been confused or conflated in historical records. The Zuo Zhuan, a far more detailed and contemporary chronicle of this period, describes the Battle of Boju in depth, but never once mentions Sun Tzu. Some scholars, like Victor Mayer of the University of Pennsylvania, consider the biography essentially fictional. Others, like Ye Shi during the Song dynasty, noticed this glaring absence as early as the 12th century. And even among those who accept some version of the story, there's debate about its meaning. Scholar Chi Su-ho argues Sun Tzu would never have been allowed to commandeer palace women. Wu Jusung sees it not as a lesson in discipline at all, but as an illustration of Sun Tzu's deeper teaching that a general, once given command, doesn't take orders from the ruler. Modern critics have called it something uglier. 2 women, likely forced into being concubines to begin with, executed as props in a power play. Not a lesson in leadership, they argue, but a lesson in how human nature justifies its own cruelty. Whether the concubine training incident actually occurred is almost beside the point. For 2,500 years, this story has been told and retold because it crystallizes something true about the nature of power. All warfare is based on deception. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. These ideas, just 6,000 words in their original form, have shaped military thinking from Takeda Shingen's legendary campaigns in Sengoku period Japan, to Mao Zedong's victory in the Chinese Civil War, to modern cognitive warfare doctrine, where the human mind itself becomes the battlefield. Sun Tzu understood something that most people still struggle to accept. Authority isn't given, it's taken. And sometimes, the most terrifying demonstration of power is showing everyone in the room that you're willing to do what no one else will.